gonna share this right here. This is important right here. Big time win. What's going on, family? Got them boys. Boys, big time win by your Florida State Seminoles, beating Wake Forest. Dropped 3 straight to them. Just overall, great game. Before we get into the play-by-play, make sure you guys go and like the live feed that we have right now. Any questions that you have, please make sure you drop them in the comments section. We will, anytime we get over $100 in monies donated, we would in super chat donations, we'll give away some free gifts and some free things right here. Also be sure to make sure you check out Big Games BS tomorrow, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we have the Monday morning film breakdown of the game. We will add some things to what we're doing. What's going on, Mike? Go Knowles. Give it a heart, push heart if your team is undefeated. What up, Marcus? Yeah, dog, we killed them. They definitely killed them. Shout out to anybody who watched the Coldcast. If you liked it, me and Trey's breakdown, we had a decent amount of people that came on our live loop. Fortunately, it doesn't upload to Twitter like that. What's going on, Mike? Yo, Mike, you ain't green no more, brother. You don't have the green no more. That's throwing me off a little bit. We gotta get you back in the green, get you back in that member status. Mike Bartz and Mike Myron, neither one of y'all are members. We gotta get y'all back into that. Trey's take should be up tomorrow as well. He'll be going live, breaking down the game. But both me and my son, we did something that I think we'll end up doing a lot more when next season comes along. I don't really know. I got to talk to my booster representative. I don't want to like not give, the amount of money that I normally give. But I was looking at the capital, the donations that you got to give away to it, man. It's a little difficult. What's going on, Ice Cold No 06? Appreciate you shouting out. Yeah, tell dog I gotta have a large. I'm a large man. I gotta have a large bed. What's funny though is when I get my new crib, when the next I've been looking at new cribs and new trucks for the last few months. I was actually almost moved last summer. If whenever I do that, I got to get a bigger bed, but a custom one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so letting a couple more people come in. Before the season started, everyone felt like Pitt would be a possible loss for FSU, but reality is we're going to drag Pitt. Yeah, definitely. Make sure you check out the breakdown on Thursday. We'll do the breakdown on Thursday talking about Pitt. Anybody going to Pitt? I'll be there in my Gator Bowl capacity. So I'll be at Pitt. I wanted to I need to email the person, make sure see if I can get my sideline passes for Pitt. But yeah, I'll be at the Pitt game for the Gator Bowl. Even though Florida State wins one more game, they're disqualified from the Gator Bowl. One more game, and we're officially we are in the ACC championship. But all we need is one more ACC win, and we're locked in. So that's going to be dope. But if anybody's going to Pitt, let me know. Where's the tailgates? My flight lands 11:30. I'm literally going to check in my hotel, which is on the way to the stadium, drop my bags off, and then go to the stadium and hang out before the 3:30 kick. I will be all in and all prepared. Actually, I'm thinking because I'm only going to I have to be back in Jacksonville to do the news on Sunday night. So I'm probably just going to be taking a book bag. So I might not even check in until after the game. I might go straight to the stadium and I'll just have my book bag, and I'll do my instant reaction after when I get back to my hotel. So things will be dope with that. But let's look at some of these things that FSU has posted. I think these are big. I like the graphics here. By the numbers, Jordan Travis was 388 yards of total offense, 22 for 35 passing for a season high 359 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Travis added 29 yards on the ground with a 13-yard rushing touchdown. Trey Benson is the first player in FSU history to have an 80-yard touchdown reception and an 80-yard rushing touchdown. 80-yard catch marks career long. He had 10 carries for 55 yards rushing, 4 receptions for 100 yards receiving, and a touchdown. Jared Verse recorded 2 sacks, matching a career high. Verse is FSU's active leader with 13.5 sacks and 23.5 tackles for loss in his career. Team highlights: Florida State extended its winning streak to 14 games. 14 straight games of 30-plus points is the longest active streak in college football. 8-0 record and 6-0 in the ACC for the first time since 2014. Man, it feels good to be winning football games and doing it at a big level. FSU is also at number 4 on the AP poll. I know a lot of people are upset about that. They want to be ranked a little bit higher. Don't worry about those things. Just keep winning. Winning, you're in. That's all we have to worry about. So that answers your question right there, Mike. I know one thing. I'm tired of most of the media hating on us. Our resume isn't good enough for Travis isn't being talked about for the Big H. Well, Travis on ESPN and by a lot of people's prognostications, and I'm probably going to try to see if I can't get the guy who covered Wake Forest, who I showed part of his on the Wake Forest breakdown, but he was also on me and on Mark Rogers' show with me, and he's a Heisman voter, and he talked about the guys that he had in there. Jay Trav, all he has to do is continue to perform like he's been performing throughout the rest of the season. He's got 2 games, 3. He's got so we got Miami, Florida, and the ACC championship, where all eyes will be on him, and he'll get a chance to showcase why we're the best and everything else that's going on. So what we'll do is we'll put this right here in the background so you guys can see it. I'm going to show you guys how to read a box score and how to break these things down. So we see 41-16 was obviously the score. 10, 24-7, 9-7. Florida State literally only lost 1 quarter. One of my things, and again, this is just what's crazy, is Florida State is still yet to play the best football that they could potentially play. Florida State has done a really good job. I think I learned from Greg McGarity. I think it's the 7-3-2. 7 games where you're just better than everybody. 3 games you play perfect. 2 games you're just you got to pray. We've had our 1 game where you can pray, and I believe it or not, I think we just have had 7 games so far where we're just absolutely better than all of our opponents. And I still think we still have one more game that's going to be tight or close here left for us, and then we still have 3 games where we're going to absolutely just destroy everybody. And it was lining up to be this, except for we kind of made it a little murky. We made it a little muddy in that really in the first quarter. The first quarter, Florida State, when we're reading this score, says 10-0. It should have easily been 21-0 or 24-0. Florida State had every opportunity to be able to go down and score on every drive. It just didn't work for us. And this is us being nitpicky, because even with all of this, Florida State absolutely destroyed them in every aspect. So let's go through the game and try to figure out what we got for this and excuse me, a little tired. And walk through where things might have gone wrong, where things and went more right. Trying to pull this up. I don't get it on ESPN website, but I get it on the app. So the first drive, you still got your incompletions going. You still got things. We kind of really just shot ourselves in the foot. Go down, but we go down on the first drive and we score 9 plays, 75 yards, 7 points. That's really good. It's 9 plays is a drive. When you have anywhere from 7 to 10 plays, that's putting together a total drive. Really, really, really good. Jay Trav runs it in for the touchdown. Fitz goes on and scores. Coming in, defense played lights out. They shut the guys down. 5 plays, 10 yards. Even in that 5 plays, Wake Forest took up 2 minutes and 17 seconds. So they were going to try to make it murky, as I told you guys. Make it murky, make it a little dirty. Have the guys, try to play TOP. Florida State gets the ball, and now here's where it comes in. Trey Benson gets a good run. Jay Trav gets a big run. Then it's 2 incompletions, and then a check down on 3rd and 10, and you have to punt the ball. So what happens when you throw an incompletion on the first down, it puts you in 2nd and 10. The 2nd and 10 is not a really good situation to be in. Forces you to probably more than likely have to throw it again. My biggest critique for the game is that we had a little bit of success running the ball, but we don't consistently do it. And I think Trey Benson was getting his confidence up this game as well. I appreciate that, Damian. Damian said we had a great convo in spaces. I like hopping in. I wish the people whose spaces I hopped into would come into these chats and kind of come in there, but I like jumping in other people's stuff and trying to make it hot and provide something for them. But we had a punt. We had 2 straight drives of punts. Wake Forest 3 and out, 1 yard gain. You got to reward your defense. I talk about this a lot on the shows, rewarding the defense by coming up with points. Even if it would have been 3 points, you still have to continue to come up with points. I believe that first drive, Jay Trav threw the ball in the middle. He overthrew it, and Buddy should have caught it. Should have been an interception by Wake Forest, but I'm not going to play the coulda, shoulda, woulda game. We forced them to go 3 and out. They forced us to go 3 and out. Again, Trey Benson gets a big run for 8 yards, and then it's 2 incompletions when we could have just ran the ball and got the first down, and that would have sustained. Then we got another punt, another 3 and out by the defense playing well. And then we get into a situation where we go 7 plays, which is a pretty decent drive. Toa Feely gets a big run. Then we try to run it again with Rodney Hill, and Rodney gets blasted in the backfield. Guy just reads the gap, shoots the gap, does a good job by Wake Forest. Trey gets a big Jordan Travis throws the ball to Trey Benson for 13 yards. Trey gets another run for 3 yards. Then we have 2 straight incompletions. I believe one was one. I forgot how it looked. We'll see it on the film tomorrow. But then Fitzgerald kicks a field goal. Fitz probably had, which is cool. Fitz had the worst game he's had all season, but it still was nothing detrimental. Coleman did slip on that. I'll get to this question right here in a second. So that's a good question. Any questions you guys have, please make sure you put it in the comments. If it has a super chat, it'll stay up there a little bit longer. It'll highlight it for me to be able to see it. But I definitely try to answer the questions, in particular, definitely of my members. So we go down there, get the game 10-0. Wake Forest goes on a 7-play, 75-yard drive, which really got boosted up by Ellison. So he had a 51-yard run going down to the 19. Then it was just just some slips, some things. Got to get off the field on third down. We had them stop until we didn't. So their guys ran a little hard, scored a touchdown on us. Then I believe what the cool thing is about having Deuce, kick the ball off. Deuce returns at 43 yards, almost breaks it. So, like 2 games in a row, when their team scores, our special teams immediately comes down and starts getting the juices flowing. And from here is when we just start taking it up a notch, and then just really pile on them and have a really good second quarter. If we would have finished if we would have had the third quarter like our second quarter was, I would say this would have been our first of 3 games where we played perfectly. Jay Trav completed the ball to Rodney Hill, 23 yards. Trey Benson had a 5-yard run. Then we hit Keon Coleman for a touchdown. Defense makes Wake Forest have -9 yards on the next drive, 3 and out, which was great. But then we have -10 yards, where we got a holding, which it was a holding. I think Jay Trav didn't have to scramble out on that one like he did. But again, here are the things why just penalties like that. The penalties what really set us back on that, but we went 3 and out. Luckily, our defense comes in, makes them go 3 and out. Then we hit them with the punch. Jay Trav, the Trey Benson, 80 yards to the house. Great screen. Can't wait to really watch that out. Make them go 3 and out, -2 yards. Then we got 5 plays, 66 yards. Culminating with Keon Coleman, was basically back shoulder fade, if I remember correctly, to the left side of the end zone. Then we hit another field goal, but even on that field goal, it was OPI, which I don't believe was an OPI, offensive pass interference. No, excuse me, it was a pass interference on them. Ja'Kai Douglas, it was one of them plays. No, I think I'm missing this. Ja'Kai Douglas was misfired on a couple passes. Actually, even watching this game, I was joking with some of my friends. Like now you see why Jay Trav targets the same people over and over again. Like it's not a whole lot of brain, but we in that should have scored again where we got the field goal. Go into the halftime, they drive down the field, kick the field goal. We go 3 and out, punt, and this is where it gets a little frustrating because you had a punt and a missed field goal on 2 drives, and it felt like we were really just going through a lull. But we ended up scoring on the third drive of the third quarter and making the score, basically bringing our score up. Excuse me. We get 2 drives in the third quarter. We end up scoring on the first drive of the fourth quarter and then kind of putting the game away. But where we missed the field goal, let's just talk about that drive and why it was so close to being perfection. Jay Trav threw a completion to Ja'Kai Douglas. It was on the post, and we got a roughing the penalty. But check this. He catches it, and he's getting ready to stretch, right? But he gets tackled by one guy. Like, that's just what we can't have. You got to catch that. You got to keep moving. You got to catch that. You got to stretch that. And then after that, we have, if I remember, we had another. So Darian Williamson, if you guys listen to the Coldcast, Darian Williamson had a situation where he had a post that ended up getting broken up, which I was corrected by legendary Peter Ward, where he says you can't just sit there and fade and let the ball come to you. You have to go attack the ball. He said if he goes and attacks the ball, he catches this. Then he also missed a back shoulder fade into the end zone where the ball just hits his hands and he drops it. It goes back to what I was telling you guys, what I was told about Jordan Travis. If you account for a quarter of his drops, he is in the 78% completion range. He's a really accurate passer that people like to say isn't accurate, but it's not him. It's the people not making the catches, which is still dope. Still having a great season. And then we missed the field goal, and I don't know what happened with that. Fitz was 2 for 3. At least he missed it, and it's something that doesn't count. Hopefully we don't continue down that route. We end up having another touchdown where Trey Benson just runs it in for 18 yards. And and so he has a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. And and it was just great things. And yeah, ice cold. No, I do remember that. That was when Jay Trav scrambled out. We'll talk about this on the film breakdown. It did not. He didn't need to do that. He was doing a little too much. Doing a little too much. Eric, we're gonna still do tits for fits. One mistake doesn't mean players fuck up every now and then too. So that's what we got with that. Basically, a play-by-play breakdown of the game. Started off 34 points and a half is really, really good. And it puts a lot on a team to have to be able to go in and move the ball. But let's just talk about Fuller's defense. And we'll go through these stats. Mitch Griffiths, 6 for 16, 82 yards. Very difficult to keep somebody under 100 yards passing. Justice Ellison, 10 carries, 77 yards. Very difficult to keep a running back under 100 yards. Again, these are things that are just difficult to do. Let's look at the overall team stats. 210 total yards of offense. I believe that's the third straight game where our defense has held a team under 300 yards of total offense. This is the third straight game where we've kept the team under 100 yards passing, whereas we have 508 yards of total offense. That's a shit ton of yards, man. Like 382 passing yards, 126 yards rushing, 7.7 yards per play. But that's telling us is you get 3 downs. So basically we're getting a first down every 2 plays, whereas they're going 3.2 yards per play. Even if they win 3 plays, that's getting them into a situation where they have to kick. We had 20 first downs to their 15. We were 50% third down efficiency, which is right where you want to be at. Did not go for it on 4th down. They were 3 for 14. That's not optimal. They were 0 for 1, same total amount of plays. They had 4 more punts than us. Now, the continuing trend that people have when they go to Death Valley, but when you score 34 points and a half, it negates that, is Florida State had 9 penalties, 115 yards, probably one of our more penalized games, but they had 5 penalties for 44 yards. A few of their penalties were, I think 2 of them were false starts. So I think they got 1 that would be considered a personal foul. We got a couple personal fouls that kind of put us in some precarious situations. No turnovers in the game. And time of possession was pretty equal. So you can't really just go around and say one team really had an advantage over the other when it came to penalties and things like that. It was a clean game. It's one of those games that you just want to have to where you're straight up just demoralizing people. I'm trying to find here how many it doesn't tell me how many sacks we had, but we had a lot of them. Yeah, so that's 1, 3, 4, 5. We only had 5 sacks. It felt like we had more than 5 sacks. 2 by Jared Verse. I think somebody asked me for tackles for loss. It's not up on this right here. Let me see if it's on this app. And I'll tell you here in a second. Don't know why the app has a little bit more things than So all right, yes, we had 6 sacks and 10 tackles for loss. I know that question was asked. My guy Jedi right here asked that if I remember. How many tackles? We had 10 tackles for loss. That's a hell of a day. They have 10 tackles for loss. 6 sacks is really, really good. I think Jared Verse has finally woken up. And that's crazy. Nose and Jags doing good. Shout out to the Jags for their victory today. They are 6-2 on the season, 4 more wins and they're in. And yeah, Keon Coleman basically made the human seatbelt look very defective. This might be it. Like, yeah, just give Fitz 1 tip for the day. Just 1 tip. Nothing wrong with that. I'll bring it up. It was brought up earlier last week. It was discussed about by Corey Clark. Wake Forest had been called 6 penalties for 51 yards in the 2 total games before that. Opponents have been called in the other two games for 27 penalties for 243 yards. Basically, we didn't get the most penalties that they had been called, but we're right on par. Add another 115 penalties and 115 yards and 9 penalties to the situations. But yeah, it's just a situation. It's one of those things where we can't really be worried about referees being there to help us. Nobody's there to save you. Nobody's going to come in and do whatever and do those things for you. We just got to keep making plays. And there were some times where we didn't collapse the pocket like we needed to early on in the game. Their running back was able to squirt out. That's how he got the big 51-yard run. But for the most part, our defense just continued to press. And when I look at the schedule that we have coming up, it just looks like we're going to have more opportunities. So to be able to get sacks. So you got Pitt, Miami, obviously North Alabama, and others in the other school in Gainesville that show that they don't really, their line isn't that great. Yeah, man. Fire Fuller, man. That's crazy. I still don't believe people have that. Anybody who believe, like, I know this is sarcasm, but if you believe in firing Fuller still, man, you're just I don't know what to tell you, man. Just the defensive competency. Teams held under 20 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and really 6 with LSU are the teams that are just held, because LSU's last touchdown came in crap time, So like it's just, and I would give this too. Shout out to Patrick Surtain. Phenomenal addition to the staff. These guys are doing really well. Playing good, coaching up good ball. Clemson, they had 20. I mean, you don't have nobody scored 30 points like what we've done. So we haven't been in any shootouts. Boston College came close, but really, if we being all the way funky, BC had a really good fourth quarter on us, and our offense just needed to shut it down. We had a 21-point lead. People don't remember that. And for being funky, BC's 5-3. Was it? No, BC's 5-3 at this point. They're one win away from being bowl eligible. And let me see who BC plays next week. Let's see what BC be bowl eligible next week. Actually, yeah, BC plays Syracuse, who they're favored. They play Syracuse on Friday. If they go and they beat Syracuse, they're bowl eligible with games against Pitt, Miami, and Virginia Tech left. Boston College could be a 7-8 game winner. Boston College might be eligible for the Gator Bowl. So that's crazy. And when we look at everybody else, like we look at North Carolina, I think Louisville has another slip up in front of them. I think the way things are going, like, if you can predict the ACC, man, you're wild. And just moving forward, there isn't a team in a fucking America that we should be afraid of. So Damien put me off that. I still don't understand people who are afraid of Louisville. Like, and I got a friend, one of my good friends coaches at Louisville. And so we were talking about some things. Their best corner is a corner that we let go, that we didn't really care too much about. And he's injured. So there isn't an offense in the nation as dynamic as our offense. It's a reason we've got 14 straight games over 30 points and more, and that's a record. Right? It's a record because it's hard to do. And it's a reason why our defense is statistically one of the best, because it's hard to do what the fuck our defense is doing. You just gotta step back. We can't be afraid of success and be afraid of trolling. Y'all sit here want to get into arguments with motherfuckers who've been in battles with Virginia and should have lost the game to Virginia, and dudes were getting mud stomped by Georgia. I'm sorry. If you can fear those cats, it's a free country. You can do whatever you want to do, but I won't. My bad, Marcus. We'll talk about them tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Big games BS. See what happens with like in a little tool share, boy. But any questions about the game, about other stuff going on, so that can help you guys out, help you understand, some of the different things going on. Again, tomorrow, if you're a member, if you're not a member, please consider being a member on the YouTube channel. It's $3.99 at the lowest, it's $99.99 at the highest. Any level member, what we do is we'll post in the membership thing, we'll post a live stream so that you can watch me break down the film against Wake Forest live, and you can ask your questions. We can go over different things. We can talk about why this play probably didn't work, what needed to do better on this based upon what we were watching with the condensed version of events. So we'd love for you guys to be able to come hang out with us on that. Again, that's for members, and it doesn't take much to be a member. Obviously, we're 862 subs away from 4,000. Once we get to 4,000, we'll give away 10% of that. So we'll give away $400. And then we'll also give away a secondary prize for however many likes that live broadcast got. So it could be 400 and then another 400. So liking this channel, it gives you opportunities. Marcus, would you like me to do some breakdown of Florida? I mean, I like watching football films. So I'm thinking about doing stuff with the Jags. I would do stuff for Florida. I'll do stuff for Miami. And I'll tell you the truth. Like sometimes people just need to get breakdowns of film. And like I like watching football film, and I like talking to people about sports and talking to people about the game in a manner that's easy to digest and relative. Like it's not about any hate or anything. If somebody made a good throw, they made a good throw. If they made a bad read, they made a bad read. I may go watch condensed version of Florida, Georgia. Do that one for free to try to get some Florida fans or some other fans watching some of the stuff. But if we get to 5,000 subs, then I'll give away 2 tickets to the Miami game as well, FSU Miami. Also, the month of November. I think the month of November. Yeah, for starting in the month of November, I will be. How many tickets do I have to the Gator Bowl? I want people to realize I'm giving away tickets to the Gator Bowl. What's my girl's name? Katie. Let's look up Katie. I know Katie sent me the thing. All right, what we got here? No. Is that what I wanted? All right. Oh, that's for me. Yeah, so for me, 4 Terra Suites. All right. So what I'll have is I'll have 6 pairs of tickets, end zone seats for the Gator Bowl with Terrace Club access, which means you'll be sitting in the end zone and then you'll get an opportunity. You have a band to where you can go into the Terrace suite, all you can eat, all you can drink. You can all you can eat, all you can drink, all of those different things like that. May have even more of those, but that's something that you can't get unless you're a member. But we'll be doing giveaways for those. So that's 6 weeks. We'll go 6 weeks out to the Gator Bowl. We'll be giving away a pair of those each week for members. So like Florida State might not be playing in it. You might not care, but man, this is a pretty good bowl game. It's at noon. All you can eat. Like, let me tell you, the Terrace Suite got some really, really good food. And whatnot. A homecoming. Who came to Florida State homecoming? From that's a looker? She a pilgrim or she black? I gotta try to figure out who you talking about. But we're doing that. We're also taking a group of kids to the Gator Bowl from Jacksonville. So if you got a school that wants to have all access, I'm talking about literally, I pick up the class, I pick up the jits. They'll meet at a location. We'll bus them there. We'll bus them back. They'll get fed. They'll watch the game. They'll get access and all these different things. So like that's what we do on this show. Can't get that from the local shows. And anybody who watches the news tonight, I'm probably gonna bash some of the local Jaguar beat writers. So we're giving away stuff. We'll be giving away tailgate tickets. Tailgate tickets should be. I should have the link up tomorrow for tomorrow's show. So that'll be up. If we don't have any, what up, D Shaw? Any other questions? I need some of y'all blacks to become greens so that you can become a member. Or any other questions? Life's sweeter when you whipping people's ass. All right. Other than that, jam-packed show tomorrow, 9:30. We'll touch a little bit more on Florida State, Wake Forest. We'll talk Florida, Georgia. We'll talk Miami, Virginia. We'll talk about Colorado. We'll talk about Pittsburgh and what their coach. We'll talk about Pittsburgh and Colorado and what both coaches said and how is one getting praised and the other one not getting praised. Whoa. Expound on this. South Texas dude. My bad. And for those who are going to be listening to this on the SoundCloud, South Texas dude on the YouTube says Ventrell Cypress is a liability. I need to know what you mean. Because I beg to differ on that one. Just because he doesn't make tackles doesn't mean he's good. You know. Oh yeah, no doubt. Okay, so you don't mean he's a liability in tackling is what you mean. He's not a liability overall because Ventrell Cypress has one of the highest grades in coverage, which is what they get paid to do. I would like him to tackle better. I would like him to become more of a willing tackler. I see what you're saying. You know, like again, this is why I always tell people words mean things. Like, you know, it's one thing to play on words, and another thing for like people say trash, people say elite, people say a lot of these different things, and they like it's too much. Like I think I'm not saying this is what you were trying to do, but I think in our new lexicon in America and the way we talk, like we just make we go on these extremes and we say things, and I'm like, yo, I want him on the field, but like when you say, so I get it. I'm with you. He does need to tackle better. Like he's not not a strong suit. But you know, we take him out and we put a better tackler in there. What if that better tackler can't cover? And now we over here giving up 75 yards on the house. Like you got to pick and choose what you want to do. That's why we have linebackers and D linemen. But I do believe the one play that really got showed that really exposed them. We all know it was a big time holding on that play. Couple big time holdings on that play, and that was against Duke. Last week, none of that. I mean, this past Saturday, none of that even came to fruition to show up. But I can't argue with you about Ventrell Cypress and his tackling. Coverage skills on point, tackling could be better, but it was one play, and outside of that, I can't really think of any other plays where he's just hurt me, and I also can't think of any times where I just said, man, damn, that cornerback is a dynamic tackler. That's just not what they're used for. So but that was okay. I'm glad we got a little understanding on that. Explain that one. But again, for those who are new, if you're not in green, I don't know if you sub to my show or my channel. Please make sure you sub to my channel. Please make sure you consider becoming a member. We got giveaways. Right now, we are in a massive battle. Last couple of weeks, man, with our college football pick'em and our pigskin pick'em have been real close. Let me see. I know I'm always in it. I didn't win the college football pick'em this week, which sucks. But right now, it is a one-way. Mike Williams is winning the pigskin pick'em. Me and Black Magic are tied. I don't know who Mike Williams picked. I'm trying to. Okay, who did he pick for the last two games? It won't show me. It won't show me. I don't know who he picked, but he's got 110. I've got 100. So we'll see with that. I know who won the college football pick 'em. Again, if you're a member, you can literally win your membership by just winning this college football pick 'em. And then at the end of the college football, we'll have a bowl pick 'em. We'll have a lot of other different stuff too. But we'll have you know, we'll give $150 away. ESPN fan 300. I don't know who that is. He won the college football pick'em by winning the tiebreaker with Adrian Tankard. All right, Jeff Allen, what up, man? Jeff, you're about to win our ESPN Pigskin Pick'em possibly, and you're not a member. Like, you got to renew your membership. Don't lose $50 by not paying $3.99. You feel me? Just make sure. I just want you to realize how that sounds. And Mike Harris was a good tackler. And Mike Barch is not showing you're a member, bro. You can't win if you can't win it if you're the whole thing is you have to be a member to win. So you can't win if you're not a member. So we got to check those things. Like, I want y'all to, like, it's just one of the incentives of being a member. It's one of the like, membership has its perks, is what we say. Mike Harris was a great tackler, but Mike Harris is not a. Name me a top 10. Name me top real quick, man. We gotta go. I gotta go because I don't want to ramble on. Mike Harris was a good tackler. Name me 10 best cornerbacks in Florida State history. Everybody name me. You can name me one or whatever. You can name 10 best cornerbacks in Florida State history. And I'm not saying Fentrell Cypress will be, but I'm going to do an experiment here. Anybody listening right now, so the 29 people who are watching this live, this is a great opportunity for you to just type in your 10 best cornerbacks in Florida State history. Because I would like to see something. Cromartie, not a tackler. A willing tackler, not a great tackler. Rhodes, really good coverage guy. Decent tackler, not a great tackler. T-Buck, get you the interception. He get a guy down. And Cromartie's probably, I'd be honest with you, that's my road dog. I don't know if Cromartie's a top 10 corner in Florida State history. Corey Sawyer is top 10 at Florida State? Okay. Samari Rowe was a safety. Tay Cody definitely not known for tackling. Like, but my point is most good corners aren't the guys that you want making the tackle. That's my point. Safeties, I would take a better tackler. Greg Reed was Greg Reed. Now Greg Reed would be one of the tacklers. And I'd give you an argument for Greg Reed being top 10 corner. Cookie, Mario Edwards. I give it Mario Edwards. Definitely. Yeah, I can see that. It's definitely a really good argument for Mario. Before anybody goes and bash me and clips this, I want you to realize I am one of those people that say you can put and Damien can back me up on this. I said it last night. Florida State's probably the only school you can go to where you can tell a kid you'll never be in the top 10. So, but and it's not because they're not good. It's just a top 10 in Florida State is really, like, really crazy, man. Mario Edwards. I definitely don't argue Mario Edwards. I do argue Corey. No argument for B-Mac. B-Mac has to be in your top 10. Brian McFadden has to be in your top 10. JT Thomas has to be in your top 10. Damn, I can't even think of my guy. Played in the 80s, went to the Falcons before Deion. It's gonna come to me. Hold on. FSU DB. Can't believe I can't remember his name. His son was a wide receiver, went to USC. Damn, I can't believe it. I'm gonna be so embarrassed when I see it. Damn it. He was played in the 80s. He's a friend of mine on Facebook too, man. Let me go and click this. He was before Dion. First round draft pick too. Oh, Bobby Butler. Bobby Butler. If Bobby Butler is not in your top 10, you're not a real Florida State. Yeah. Thank you, Damian. Thank you, Damian. I'm over here stressing, man. I did a camp with Bobby Butler, man. Bobby Butler's that dude. If you don't know Bobby, the problem is a lot of y'all don't know y'all history. This is why it shows like I'm a true FSU fan. I'm a historian. I love Florida State. Like I was like Bobby Butler's that guy, man. My bad, Mike. Martin Mayhew. Martin was a safety though. Shout out to Florida High. I see Martin. Martin was at the Syracuse. I see him at the Syracuse game. I saw Martin at the Syracuse game. Got a chance to chop it up. I can't wait to see him again in Indianapolis. Real solid guy. I just like talking to him. Like guys like that who are in the NFL front office, their brains just operate differently. Boucher will probably tell you he's not top 10 at Florida State. If you took guys with NFL career, Boucher's top 10 NFL. Top 10 knows that played in the NFL. Boucher is definitely that. Boucher nice, like when he came there. But I remember interviewing Boucher about 2 years ago, and he was talking about that. And Boosie, man, that's tough, man. Is Boosie top 10? Nah, I don't think Boosie top 10. G Ross didn't transfer. G Ross played his whole time there. G Ross coaches there now. G Ross outfield. G Ross was with me. G Ross just never G Ross just didn't. G Ross was so talented they still made an NFL roster for 1 year like I did. So like G Ross was cold. It just didn't get a chance to translate because there was a lot of talent out there. So yeah, man. Again, we can go on that all day, man. That's some off-season talk right there, though. Who's your top 10 this, top 10 that? But a lot of people don't really know because it's like some cats that, like, even when we go with linebackers, man, let me tell you about Florida State in the 80s. Florida State had some of the coldest Pilgrim linebackers you could ever imagine in the 80s, right? And then even with Bush was a cold-ass Pilgrim, was a cap, cold-ass Pilgrim before we even really had a lot of the guys that we're going. So all that being said, man, appreciate you guys chopping it up with me. See you guys Monday. See you guys bright and early Monday morning, 9:30. Check me out. Put me on in the background. You'll have a great time. That's what you get. Yeah, Young Bleak put Sawyer was third. That's why I don't. It's no disrespect to Corey Sawyer because I don't like Corey Sawyer is legit, but like that's why I don't listen to Time Out Nation. So I'm keeping my comments to myself. Going because they're my brothers, man. They all good. So like shit. I always tell people I don't give a fuck if you don't mention me top 10. You're gonna talk about me though. So like the motherfuckers are all good though. I can tell you that much. That's how good we are. We could do a top 25, top 30 list, and you're still gonna leave some really cold motherfuckers out. So see you guys later.